Evil Geniuses versus Team Liquid. Game 1.
Top heroes that both teams share are Leshrac and ET. So both heroes really prioritize that hero a lot. And on side of EG, Enchantress is heavily focus that hero. Meanwhile, Liquid they do play Enchantress, but they don't like first pick it. So it's interesting to see that aspect. And for Liquid, they play a lot of ST, but EG don't like prioritize that hero. So, yeah.
I'm wondering if we're going to see some changes, right? As we saw the secret drafts coming out, and we're seeing a lot of teams now just like opening up with Tiny because of what OG's been able to demonstrate with the hero and how dominant it's been because of how people are just abusing Tree Volley and how strong it really is. I'm wondering if maybe we see some priority shift. We see the Void, that Tiny start being picked up first too by Secret, just prioritizing just having these two. Just it seems like things are going to start changing as we get toward the later stages of TI.
And we know like these both mid players, they love Tiny. Weeha Tiny and SUMAIL Tiny. He went on like what, 30 kills as TI?
Yep. Yeah. It was like 30. It was more. He like broke the records. So.
I think something like that. It was a crazy game. It does get banned out in the first phase though. I also banned another hero that Liquid's been using. Maybe the most in the last couple series. OG obviously has been also getting first phase banned against it, but Liquid, the only team running is the support right now, which is weird to say, but that's the reality.
I wonder if Chen also comes back in, right? Because EG, they don't really play Chen, but Liquid does, right? So I think that's another one that I'm also looking at that could sneak in, that I know Kuroky really likes to play around when they have like that Tusk plus the Chen and they can just make a lot of aggressive moves. So I do think there's a lot of variety we could see coming out in these two drafts.
And now you bring up the fact that Liquid plays Chen but EG doesn't. It feels like EG's whole ban stage, other than the Tiny of course, it feels like there's more bans that they have to use that their opponents can just ignore and let through. ET, also very, very strong, but easy to take that hero out.
Yeah. Yep. The decision now, right? There's the Chen. I kind of had a feeling that they would take it out because you don't want to get like just, I wouldn't call it cheese anymore at this point, right? But it's just this super dominant hero that can somehow just take over games, and if you're not prepared for it, you could just straight up lose. And I had Chen as one of my most banned heroes actually because I thought this was just going to take over from a lot of teams because it can just change the way the Dota is played entirely.
So right now, unless they have like a complete new strategy from both teams, I think both teams are looking at SD and Leshrac.
Yeah, I agree.
Does this prevent Liquid from grabbing something like Faceless Void?
I'm thinking they could still do something like a Gyro +1 or the Void +1. Just because of the last series, right? We're seeing just the way TI ends up happening, these shifts of drafts and priorities.
Because you don't want to be left behind by the meta, right? Like if you don't stay up to date with what the best heroes are and abuse them in the strongest ways, boom, you're out of TI. So maybe more pressure to grab them.
They could also look at the Mirana, or they could look maybe to give the Mirana and go for a combo breaker themselves and maybe get a Tide Hunter early on, because I've seen a lot of teams doing that when the SD is left in the pool. Even though SD's kind of good versus it with the Soul Catcher chunking him down, it does prevent you from doing that. They will take that Mirana away.
It's a classic dueling combo, Mirana Ogre.
Yep.
It's pretty effective as an offlane hero, also functions as a support if needed, and helps to amplify your carry later on as well.
Yeah, very strong dueling. Lots of laning power, lots of kill power throughout the game, but I'm kind of worried because SD is a very good combo breaker, so he might be able to save that single target, whatever the Liquid go on.
Yeah, I feel like it's rare to see Shadow Demon on the opposite side of the Mirana because it does seem like the obvious counter, but I mean if Liquid doesn't take the Mirana, EG takes it, and then they'll turn around and do an easy setup. So in some ways, Liquid kind of forced to grab the Mirana. Not that it's bad.
Yeah, so Liquid has to follow the picks up by like picking heroes that can go on multiple targets at once, because SD is just going to save the one target that Liquid is going to go on.
I actually really like this pick. I was going to suggest that if they don't actually take the Kunkka here, they're going to have to ban it in the 4th and 5th. So this, I feel like, is not only really good that works with the Shadow Demon, but it also takes it away from Liquid being able to set up. As we've seen, like the ODs and the Kunkkas, I think every time that Mirana is opened up, we see OD and Kunkka banned out because it's just so easy to set up those and just ruin the opposing mid laner's game. So the Kunkka does take it out. I imagine they're still going to ban the OD.
And TA maybe.
And the TA, yeah.
Does Kunkka picking this early leave you at a disadvantage in any way? Because normally we don't really see it that often in first phase, at least not since the group stage.
I think it's a hero that can still be flexible, because I do think that this hero can be played in an off-lane role, can be played not great in a support role, but there's possibilities.
When you're first pick, you kind of want to pick your mid hero early too, because you have the second ban phase to protect that mid ban, and you're not gonna last pick your mid anyways. It's gonna get countered, so you just want to pick it early. Some hero that can like go even at the very like least, which I think Kuroky can do, and you want to like use the second pick phase to counter the side lanes.
I like that.
Why is this fan ban good there?
Oh, I meant Febby's point.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Febby. Good
Yes,
point.
Yes, yes.
There's the TA ban you guys said.
This is Sven.
It's one of like RTZ's 3 most played carry heroes. RTZ loves Naga, Sven, Lifestealer. There was one more I forgot. Yeah.
Whenever they ban these Svens and these cleaving heroes, it always is going to be like setting up in the back of your mind. It's like, uh-oh, we hot. Meepo, we hot. Something like one of these heroes that can kind of cheese. I will say cheese, but these heroes that can just run rampant if you don't have some type of hero counter in the game.
What about something like Wraith King? Wraith King didn't get banned here. Was a big ban last game.
I love that hero, but I don't see like I haven't seen EG play it. I mean, it's not a hard hero, I guess, but
they ban out the Weeha Timbersaw, so they're trying to secure that Kunkka to have a good lane. That's an interesting one. Does that mean they want something like the Terrorblade for RTZ?
They can. There's a lot of single target from Liquid side, so TV does look good, especially with paired with the SD.
That's what I'm thinking as well, because otherwise, like the Timbersaw ban is a little bit strange to me. So I am thinking that they're looking for one for that hero, at least for RTZ.
Feels like for once, when we get the second phase of bans, they don't have all of these like hard counters. So they're picking hard counters to the heroes they're planning to pick, rather than covering their existing heroes for once.
Yeah,
cool.
Absolutely.
The scary side of picking more single target heroes for Liquid is EG. They don't play it a lot, but I've seen an occasional brood coming out of SUMAIL. So you have to be aware of that too, because I know S4 can play Kunkka.
That is also, yeah, that's very, very true. We saw teams doing that a lot in the group stages, right? They would open up with the Kunkka, and then it's like, oh god, the fear of the brood.
Yeah,
it could come.
Ogre Mirana is very strong, but you gotta remember, there's not a lot of team fight, so it's a single target. So.
Yeah.
Alchemist ban. Huh. Another cool thing about the Kunkka in the first phase, very good against Mirana as well.
Yes.
Very easy to catch her. Guarantee kills. Tide is the pick for Liquid though.
Combo Breaker versus Shadow Demon. I think we've seen a lot of teams doing that, like we were mentioning earlier on. And in the lore, right, for Slacks versus the Just kidding.
That's like lore 101. That's like way too simple for him. He doesn't care about that stuff. He needs the deep stuff that no one knows. That's
actually a very good point.
EG might be thinking of picking illusion heroes such as Naga, TV, just to like split them up, because Liquid's split push game is not that great, and catch too. Like, sure you have Ogre, Mirana, but there's a SD disruption, and it's gonna be very hard to catch because you can't push out waves properly against illusions.
With the Tide pick as well, probably means Ogre as a support, most likely. I don't think the Tide support is super effective myself. Is there anything they can exploit there against that? I mean, obviously Ogre's very tanky, but...
no, I mean, Ogre support's super solid. I think the Tide Hunter is, I mean, also a incredibly good hero, as we've seen throughout this. And I think, like Febby was saying, they have a lot of single target on Liquid. I think the Tide Hunter was just like covering their bases to have that team fight. So that looks like it's...
Crit Lina.
It's probably crit Lina.
Yeah.
You think so?
I think that's also still relatively flexible, but I think that's more than likely what we will be seeing.
Well, what tells you that? I mean, SUMAIL played Lina yesterday, for example.
I know he really likes the hero, and it's a strong like dual laner. If you are like laned with anybody, you're just able to put a lot of pressure. He's just a big fan of it, and it can match up like the Ogre, very strong laner. Lina can sit back very far away, and you can actually get that harassment onto him.
Yep, that's another hero to set up stunts with, either X or disruption.
Yeah. Right now, we don't see a safe lane carry hero from Liquid, so I think EG wanted to save the S4's hero, the position 3 heroes, because he wants to counter the whatever they pick next, because it's most likely gonna be a carry. So I think that's why they picked the S4 crit Lina. It's like kind of an all-rounder, fits into like most of the situations, can lane well with a lot of the off lanes.
More team fight coming in for Liquid, picking up that Void now.
I feel like Void's been the trending carry hero of the main stage so far. It's not in every game, but it is in a lot of the games, it feels like.
So Omni is pretty good here. What else is good? Maybe Underlord?
Underlord?
What's a S4 hero?
What about Pug, nah.
I think they need a frontline tanky hero who can get team fight items,
that's true.
especially with Lina and SD. So Omni, Pit Lord.
Interesting how they also, I think that could also be like, not 100%, but could be a taking pick from EG, right? Taking the Void. I know I'm looking more so along like the Arteezy heroes, but we've seen a lot of teams when they pick Tidehunter, the other team picks either Enigma or Void to counter him because you can't be able to dispel those. So maybe a slight amount there, even though I don't know if EG was even going to be going for that hero.
I mean, Liquid's lineup looks really scary now, I must say. Everyone's super tanky. They've got Chronosphere into arrows. They've got lots of different ways to stun into arrows.
I like
EG
it
has
because
saves, but
there's a lot of like saves and team fights from EG. Liquid, yes, they do have team fight too, but there's no save. So if they can get on top of Void somehow, then it's gonna be very hard to save him.
They're going to need like the counter initiation from the Tidehunter for the most part, if that is the case. So they're actually going to go for the Life Stealer here early on.
It's protected against the Mirana arrow. That's one thing.
Yeah, you have your Rage always to be able to protect yourself.
It's not always the safest against getting Chronosphered, but with SD behind him, it should be alright.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Picking that Life Stealer into the Void.
I mean, if anybody knows a good lifestealer game, it should be Arteezy, right? So
It's very true.
yeah, I'm just a support player. I think he knows like what he's doing on that hero. He's been playing it throughout the whole year, maybe two. So
Maybe that can allow to open up to save S4's hero as well. Maybe the Kunkka still, we could see still some swaps coming out where they want to lane the hero too. So maybe, but.
Do you think it's worth doing something like Night Stalker, like we saw earlier today? Against like, I feel like Liquid pretty vulnerable to AoE silences. I mean, I guess they'll get BKBs at some point, and then it won't be as effective, but...
I guess that is another option versus Tidehunter that maybe people haven't explored too much, right? That Crippling Fear always being applied to him, but I'm not sure if I'd see that style for EG.
so Liquid bans out S4's hero, Omni Knight.
Yeah, I think the Omni was a great suggestion.
So now they gotta go for some worse choice, unless we're forgetting something. I'm sure we're not, though.
I think EG Liquid needs some damage. Weeha hero or damage hero in the chrono, because right now they don't have a lot of damage in the chrono. They kind of lack damage, basically. And it's going to be coming out from Weeha.
It's a throwback Weeha here. I mean, Invoker comes to mind, but
Yeah, Invoker sounds good, Tinker sounds good. These like flashy mid-type heroes that inputs a lot of damage.
just worried after I saw those like matchups yesterday versus the Invokers. But it could still be a possibility.
Only 10 seconds left here for the ban on EG.
Yeah, they're running low.
I'd be very excited to see some Weeha Invoker actually.
Right? Doesn't that sound hype?
That sounds pretty hype.
The game goes late game. They've got Ravage, they've got Chrono, they've got all that kind of stuff to set up
So
for
they
it.
do ban the OD.
I think that would have been the better one. And they will go for that tanky frontline hero for S4. That Centaur. Should be able to have a good lane as well too. He's just versus like a Void and an Ogre. He's gonna get back up from Lina. So now they have a lot of stun, a lot of chain ways to lock down heroes. In particular, that Void, like you were mentioning, there's no save really for him. Liquid has counter initiation, but this could be lots of combo stuns to kill him.
Liquid really lacks damage right now, I think.
Yeah.
The Kunkka's boot rom, the Centaur's axe, if it gets to that stage, SD can save. There's not a lot of damage in the chrono.
What else is sticking out for Weeha? I mean, I'm still thinking like he might just play like a Wind Ranger or something, but I'm thinking Invoker, because they need damage. They need things to throw into that Chronosphere as well. And it's going to be the Tinker.
Oh,
Good call, Femi.
Thank you.
Yeah, can't pick a Wind Ranger against SD, that's for sure. Interesting on the Tinker, though.
It's won 100% of the 100% games, I think, so far.
How many times has it been picked?
I think 3 or 4,
Okay.
actually.
Nice.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it's been picked quite some time, but not a lot.
Second match here in this best of 3 is going to be massive, and the draft has already started, so let's hop into it and see what the new picks are going to be. Are going to see some adjustments, maybe the Faces Void coming through. What do you guys think?
More prioritization of team fight, I think, is probably the biggest thing, and also late game assurance. I think that's one thing I did see EG doing in a lot of their games, right? When they saw them pick up the PA the other day, which was just like a big shocker, and then they just had that late game that they were able to take versus Secret over and over again in the fight. I think that's probably what we're going to see adapted here.
Yeah, we saw like this similar pattern happening yesterday against OG. EG, yes, they do win lanes, but I think they have to think about the after too. I think they need to find the right balance of both.
I actually kind of liked Cap's point, even though it was kind of memey. He's just like, if you're out greeting EG, they're probably in a bit of a tough spot. It's actually felt you know, pretty impactful, because it's very true. We've seen the way Liquid's been playing and getting back to their state when they actually won TI, where they're doing a lot of split pushing, a lot of making space, waiting for that late game so they can just get that super farmed carry coming out.
It does seem like when Liquid plays the stronger Dota is that split push and just like go late game. Whether that's Miracle Anti-Mage, Miracle Arc Warden, we are like late game heroes, you know?
Oh,
First phase ban on the Void.
Look at that. So Tiny makes it through, Shadow Demon makes it through, Elder Titan makes it through.
ET is going to be very hot for these both teams.
Yeah,
Is it the first pick?
I think it is, because it just provides you so much. It provides you that team fight. It provides you good lane presence as well. And it's just an amplifier.
Yeah, Liquid loves SD, so I think they're discussing about it.
If you pick ET here, your opponents get SD and Mirana. Is that too good as a pairing to let through?
I think ET is okay against SD, so I think they can let that one go. They can pick SD, but they cannot pick. They can pick ET, but they cannot pick SD because ET is really good against it. And they do it.
I really like the ET. I think it opens up your draft to having, like we were mentioning, we're a little worried for Liquid. They need a big damage source, and they were able to get that Tinker. ET always solves everything. You look at an ET draft, and you're like, yeah, they're okay on damage pretty much every single time, because he just makes every hero just feel that much better. And he always has such good team fight control throughout every stage. And like I said, yeah, strong lanes. I mean, he's always really strong.
He's basically increasing your magic damage by like 33% or something like that. With a resistance amplification. Oh, Tiny, the other hero. We forgot about banned in first phase last game, I believe.
Yeah, I think the three we said, right, was Tiny, SD, and Elder Titan, the three big ones that we had seen. I think the Ron is still left, but let's see. I think they're still probably going to look at that.
I still do believe like Tiny, he needs like a AoE control, something like Void. We saw Tiny Void opening a lot from Team Secret, and I think like it's the new Phoenix, it's the new combo for the Void. So he needs to find the right combo.
Well, SD, the remaining support, it's really good. I think this opening is fine though. Yeah, they're gonna lack some AoE to disable, like you were just talking about. But I think SD covers save against ET combos, for example. Amplifies their damage, lots of good things.
Yeah, that's for sure. So with this ET pairing, so I think they're probably debating if they want to open up early on with the Gyro. It's a little bit weird, but I think it's just such a strong hero that pairs really well with it.
For me, I kind of don't like the SD pick. Like I know SD was like a hot hero for this tournament, but it's not that good against ET. So I actually don't know.
I mean, it's not incredible against ET, but I mean, obviously there's more heroes coming, and at some point there's going to be some chain stun stuff, and having disruption against that just makes the game so much easier, especially when it's unlocked at the start of the game. Yeah,
at least it provides a save. But yeah, I agree with Febby. It's actually just ET feels good versus SD because you're easily able to set up for your stomps, and just overall like the team aspect of the game. This hero just provides so much as an Elder Titan. Liquid's taking a lot of time here for this one.
Mirana's an obvious gimme here that could be picked. If you get a stomp, you throw the arrow. Obviously, SD can counter it. They go for the Alchemist instead. Outgreeding EG, is that what's the narrative of the series?
Well, it just might be, right? That is really strong pick. So now they're going to just try to protect this Alchemist.
But SUMAIL looks so impressive whenever he faces an Alchemist mid,
So they might just put in the safe lane then, right? And just put that on Miracle and pick Weehab, a matchup that he can actually be okay versus SUMAIL.
Yeah.
So it's going to be up to them to right away. You're going to have to see a lot of pressure coming out from EG. At least they do have heroes that are good with that, right? Like SD, he can be good versus Alchemists.
Yeah. Liquid must be thinking about that too, because SUMAIL is amazing at punishing these greedy mid heroes with his aggressive heroes.
I think that's why we see like the Batrider ban, right? I think that's like the teller for me that it's like, all right, ban out the heroes that just can dive and kill this Alchemist constantly inside of the laning phase. I think Batrider is one of the big ones.
Yeah, another it's an S4 hero too. So.
Yeah. We'll take out that Mirana themselves on EG.
I feel like something we saw a lot in the laning stage was Alchemist would basically guarantee his Radiance at a good timing, and then you get in the late game and grab all these like damage talents, and then he become just like a solo gank hero. That was a little bit too scary. Are we expecting to see something kind of similar here, or do you think it'll just be like kind of like boring AFK Alchemist?
I think the build's not really changed too much. It's like Radiance, Blink, BKB, AC, and then they just go for this timing around 25 minutes and just run at you. Maybe even the Blink gets replaced, but I really like the Blink. It's just a really good follow-up for any type of stuns you have. And that's the build that you're talking about, right? That you just become a super hard right clicker and you just start pretty much eating anybody alive if you do get on them.
AA gets spammed. The countered Alchemist prevents his regen during the ult.
Yeah.
playing aggressive and getting solo kills as Alchemist is always going to be good, but knowing EG, like this team always puts their number one priority on lane. So this Alchemist is going to be quite behind, and I feel like he's just gonna play catch up. They're gonna be behind until like 20-25 minutes, and then I feel like that's the name of the game. That's always been the name of the game for Liquid. I feel just hold until one of them is online, Weeha or Miracle.
What kind of heroes would you pick to counter Alchemist in lane, like you said?
Timber. That was actually the main one. They picked it before I could say it, but yeah, Timber has been. I think we've seen a couple teams actually try it versus the Alchemist. I think it's also it keeps them a little bit flexible because that can still be SUMAIL. They can also put that in the top lane.
Yeah. So there's like Timbers, Embers, heroes that just bullies him out of the lane and can kind of chase him too.
For this one, like Timbersaw for me is one that he actually goes like even into the later stages of the game that he's really strong versus Alchemist. If he keeps up, as long as he doesn't start falling behind and just getting caught up by something like these Spirit Vessels or just get dying a couple times in a row, if he keeps up in farm, he's able to just kill this Alchemist extremely easily with that stat reduction.
But that's when like the ET pick kicks in, I think.
Yeah.
If the Liquid picks a lot of like good magical damage in their last two heroes because Rubik doesn't provide damage, this Gyro can be in trouble because of this ET. And I don't know, like Timber is good against Alchemist, but I haven't seen the latest matchup where Alchemist goes like that build where he doesn't fall off with the 40% cleave, the right click build instead of the Octarine Shiva magical build.
I'm trying to remember back to the game. I'm pretty sure it was Mineski that had played it. I think, or was it Mineski? No, I think it was Fnatic. No, it was Fnatic. I think Ice 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 was playing it. I can't remember the exact game anymore, but it was during the group stages. I don't believe they won the game, but I do remember it happening. And they had a good early game, but it got to a point where, like you said, the Alchemist just started killing him.
Well, here's a perfect support to pressure the Alchemist. The Earth Spirit can easily gank mid, can move around jungle, and initiate easily. Could be a great setup for Timbersaw follow-up. So Ember response pick from Liquid. So a little bit of mobility on their side. He's going to not get locked down very much this game, it looks like.
Yeah, very good magical damage coming with ET too. Now Timber looks like he's killable.
Yep.
As the Earth Spirit is going to have a very hard game too because of this Ember.
ET Ember has always just been one of those classics as well as like Gyro ET, I think like the Void ET and the Ember ET are the biggest three for me because you're just a mixed component. You have that physical and you have that magical throughout the entire stage of the game, and they both can just easily throw their spells into the backlines and, like you said, take out those supports.
So do you think they're going to put Ember Spirit mid now, throw Alchemist in the safe lane? Or, I mean, they're going to try to lane dodge, right?
Dodging, I think,
keep
is
the
probably
Alch away
gonna be
from the Timber, right?
Yeah. It's really important to have eyes on this roaming Earth Spirit, I think. The GH has to do a very good job of chasing him around or like have wards down to see the Earth Spirit roaming around.
You talked about how EG like prioritizes so much in the lanes, and I think the one thing that they're covering their bases is that they have Tiny and this Timbersaw versus the Alchemist. Both of them can actually put a lot of pressure and bully wherever the Alchemist. And oh my God, is that a first pick Darkseer?
He got picked?
The Darkseer!
All right,
Spectre looks really good for EG. Anti-Mage, Spectre. Anti-Mage looks really good too against Darkseer Ember.
Yeah, Anti-Mage looks like it could be good. They do have some catch, of course. They have the chains as well as the Rubik, but
right now EG needs like a real game winner. Like the rest four of these heroes, they're gonna be very strong early mid, but they're eventually gonna fall off, I feel.
They need that late game insurance, right?
Yeah.
Like we were talking about last time. Like they need to have that thing that they will be able to take it if things don't go according to plan and they don't just run over Liquid or something. They need to have something else.
So what makes Darkseer good this game? Just the Ember pairing?
Ember pairing, lots of magic damage versus the Timbersaw. I think he's also just the protective hero. He's going to be getting those defensive items for the Alchemist to protect him versus the high magic damage that I see from EG.
It buffs Ember so much too, especially with ET. There's a lot of magical damage, and I think Mind Control is the best Darkseer out there too.
+1 to that.
Oh, this EG's last pick is going to decide the game. The pressure is on them too, so I feel like, yeah.
AM and Spectre are the top two that we're seeing at the moment, right?
Yeah, what other heroes can RTG provide?
Very passionate EG fan.
Lifestealer.
Okay.
Well, what do you think about that? You guys were disappointed last game about it?
I've seen it have some success versus the Alchemist, though, if you do have that good timing. I don't know if he's going to go Radiance. I think maybe you try to go faster. You try to set the pace, and you go for the Armlet, the Deso, and you just try to keep running at them with your lineup. Could be a possibility for them, but
Yeah, could work effectively against Alchemist, against the Ember Spirit. They can be physically weak.
I can see it working with crit Earth Spirit. The lockdown is a problem, but if crit locks them down, I think Leicester can do its job.
Lane advantages. Do you think they're gonna be able to dodge the lane?
I think definitely EG has
the lane advantage.
Yeah, EG is gonna be leading early game. I think it's like a repeat from game 1. Liquid just wants to stall the game with Alchemist and out-greed them, and EG has to punish that greed.
Agreed. Well, EG getting ready for the match to begin in just a second here. Rubik effectiveness this game. He seemed a little bit out of place to me. JH grabbing him there. It didn't seem like there's that many good spells to steal.
Yeah, it's a bit odd lane too with the Darkseer. Darkseer Rubik.
It's really good with stealing Timbersaw spells, though. Timbersaws are one of the best, actually, to get in the game.
Because you're maximizing, your spell amplifying the damage, right?
Yes.
And it does pure, so it's just instantly a good advantage, right?
Yeah.
With ET's Aura, it's going to do a lot of damage too.
We'll see if that'll be effective. But right before we get into the match, we're going to throw it over to an interview with Casey.
All right, Roman, obviously, whatever you did the first game worked very well for you. How are you feeling about your draft as far as how it went for game 2?
In game 2, we ended up going the Alchemist route, which is something we haven't really played much this tournament. But I'm curious how it will work out, honestly.
We all are. Thank you so much. Best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, back to you.